Are you tired of pulling for meta? Are you happy using Hu Tao every single Spiral Abyss rotation? Have you ever wanted to see what's happening on your screen? Yeah, me neither. Introducing Nilou, one of the most slept on 5 stars in the game. That's right, even if you are a Nilou player, there's not actually that many people playing her based on this chart. Source? I made it the f up. I am here delivering Nilou propaganda because with the new Dendro characters, she's finally usable by basically everyone, free to play or not. My name is Braxophone, and let's talk about why Nilou is insane and why she's worth rolling as a Dendro enjoyer. Like many characters, Nilou actually released to a lot of backlash, but unlike other characters, she actually was broken. She just needed a little bit more time to marinate like our fish friend here. I'll keep it real with you guys, I really don't enjoy restrictive characters, and it's why I actually don't play Nilou. That and I don't like being flashbanged whenever I press Q. So if you're here and don't have Nilou, the TLDR of Nilou is that she makes you do lots of green damage and makes the circle of the green damage bigger, but only if your party has only green and blue characters. What happens if you put a red character in there? Your bank account gets hacked, your power goes out, your pet gets stolen, national parks catch fire, the polar ice caps melt, your father leaves you and tells you he's gonna come back, but he never actually does until you graduate college, and then he asks you for money because he sees how successful you are, and you miss him, so you give him the money, but then he just takes your money and he never speaks with you again, and you're left wondering what you've done wrong and why this happened to you, but at least you have Genshin Impact. No, I'm just kidding, you just lose the buff. Yeah, so don't play red, purple, green, light blue, or yellow characters with Nilou. Unless you want to play her with red characters, because then you can get big blue numbers, which personally I think look a little bit better. She has 2 combos, one that makes you dish out more hydro, and another one that gives you almost exactly the range of the original Nintendo DS connection, which has about 15 feet, which is probably less feet than Nilou players have on their hard drive. Because Nilou is only played with Hydro and Dendro characters to make her passive work, she was less accessible to new players. There weren't a lot of good Dendro characters in the game at her launch. But now that we have Pencil Chad, Kliwe, and God herself, Nilou is kind of way too broken. On top of that, Kaveh and Orochimaru are coming, and so am I. What does this mean? Well, it basically just means that Nilou is free to play friendly now. You don't even need a weapon for her. Weapons are for the weak. You just blow up enemies, and you have no need for a sword. I hope you like green though, because it's probably the only color you'll ever see again. Are you still here? Oh, perfect. Okay, so I actually have a lot more to say, but first, I gotta read an ad. If you're watching this video, you're a fan of peak character design, which probably means you're gonna enjoy Heigan Aerothil. Heigan Aerothil is a real-time combat RPG that combines fantasy and theater. Since it's a team-based game, it features tons of characters with diverse kits that let you optimize and team build in a super unique way. Being someone who optimizes a lot, I naturally picked Aluya, because thigh boots have a chokehold on my mental health. I also picked the Tier 0 SSR Surslit because sights are the coolest weapon of all time, and I simply wish for her to obliterate me. There's lots of fun game modes and a gear progression system that makes you want to keep on playing and leveling your characters. I actually got to play this game earlier on in beta, and there's a roguelite mode that's a ton of fun and I never got bored of. The starting characters are pretty strong too, and I actually added another one to my team because she also has thigh boots. I will never be free. The first big event is happening after the open beta, and it's called Burning Phoenix. There's going to be some awesome rewards like a character skin and some progression items to help you get going on your journey. I'm actually covering this game pretty early on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do later on with Heigan Aerothil. If you download now, you'll be guaranteed to get the SSR media, so check out my link in the description or the pinned comment to get started. It also really helps me out if you use my link. Use gift code Braxophone and download Heigan Aerothil to get stepped on, to start your journey in this mixed dream and reality world. Now, it is going to be an issue for players that don't want to spend that Nilou and Nahida are running at the same time. Given the choice to pull for Nilou or God, who should you pull? Well, you should pull God first. She's literally the easiest and most consistent Dendro application in the game, and Dendro is busted. This badminton equipment is one of the strongest characters, and she will make literally any account better. Even Eula players can be saved by Nahida. Honestly, I don't really care who you pull for, unless it's not Nilou. You wouldn't want to disappoint her, would you? Honestly though, Nilou is an amazing character that just didn't have the right partners to be used by everyone. Dendro Traveler was great Dendro application at the time of release, up until we got, something better. And I mentioned this in like all of my videos concerning Kale, so you probably don't need me to say it again, but her Dendro sucks. Which honestly is a crime, but this is the world we live in. Given the characters on the roster in 3.1, the ability to make blooms was there, you just couldn't really control who was making them, and that meant your damage ceiling was down a fair bit from what it can be nowadays. But her bloom quicken and big explodey buff and her 100 bonus elemental mastery is very strong, which makes the fact that Nilou mains don't tell you that they play Nilou like super weird. Like every Kokomi main wants you to know that they're a Kokomi main so bad, but Nilou mains are in hiding until you say something about the character that they don't like how she's not a Hydra main DPS, or how she's not a real person and she can't actually develop feelings for them. Genshin news travels pretty dang slow. Everyone hypes up new characters when they're good, but to give you a point of reference, lots of players still think that C6 Bennett ruins your account. I'd like to think that we're past that by now, but we're not. Because Nilou is restrictive, a lot of people don't enjoy that playstyle, but she certainly feels less bad than before now that you can run tons of different characters with her. Nilou also doesn't need crit. You can farm for crit, but with your luck, you're not getting crit. Sorry. She also doesn't need a 4-piece. She can use a 4-piece set, but stacking 2-piece HP sets will be enough to make her blow up the entire ocean. If you're tired of playing the same thing every Abyss, it's time to try Wendy's as your team concept. I call this one 4 for 4. It has 4 characters, it blows up 4 cores per second. This one probably isn't accurate, I don't really know. And it gives you 4 reasons to not quit Genshin Impact. One is that Nilou is cute. The second is that Nilou is easy to farm for. The third is that you can now clear the hardest content in the game. And the fourth is that you now have access to one of the very few teams that can actually farm fungal spores because for some reason, Hoyoverse decided that they actually don't want us to use cool new Dendro reactions. Have you ever wanted to express the importance of visual and performing arts amongst the other academic subjects? Well, Nilou does too, and it's basically her entire personality. But that's a good thing, I think. She does do some pretty cool stuff outside the story quest, but it's clear that she's only using a fraction of her power, because otherwise the entire city of Sumeru would actually look more like a present-day Conria. And guess what? She's coming. She's bringing one of the highest AoE damage ceilings in the entire game, and you can't stop her. You're gonna pull for her. You will pull for Nilou. Because if you don't, who knows what's gonna happen to you?